minute left in the fourth. Breeze tosses his fifth touchdown of the day. This one to Traquan Smith. Saints go up 46-45. San Francisco, one more chance, and they would not waste it. 4th and 2. How about the call? Jimmy G to George Kittle for a 39-yard catch and run, while Marcus Williams is grabbing at his face mask. Kittle's wills his way, would not stop. That would set up Robbie Gould for the game-winning 30-yard field goal, and he nails it as the clock expires. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Saints 48-46. They now sit alone atop the NFC at 11-2. All right, Coach, did San Fran prove they are the best team in the conference with this win?
You know, going into this game, I didn't know what to expect. I certainly didn't expect it to be as high scoring as it was. I thought, if anything, we were going to get to learn a little bit more about San Francisco's defense and how much that defensive line could affect a guy like Drew Brees. But that's not what we got. And every time or every game, you're going to have to find different ways to win it. It happened. San Francisco found a completely different way to win this game than I thought it was going to go. And I liked that aspect of it, but still really disappointed with.
So I think that's really interesting, because I have taken their defense at this point. I feel like their defense is something of a known quantity. Now, I understand they didn't play like it yesterday in New Orleans, but I feel like this defense, particularly that defensive front, I know you got questions about the back end, and those reared their head yesterday. That defensive front is going to give people enormous trouble throughout the year. My question has been about their passing offense, which is why, Canny, I was so impressed with them yesterday. You tell me New Orleans is going to score touchdowns their opening 4 possessions, that this game's going to get into the 40s. That, to me, says, okay, then San Francisco got annihilated. The fact that not only did they stay within, they stayed close, and then they took another haymaker from New Orleans with Drew Brees driving them down for a touchdown at the end, stopped them. That 2-point conversion stop was huge, because it's why the field goal ended up being the winner instead of the tying play. And that 4th and 2, let's keep in mind, Kyle Shanahan called timeout. He had a look. The clock was winding down. Called timeout, a timeout that they could have potentially needed to get into a better look. And then the best player on their offense, George Kittle, makes the biggest play of the game. I was wildly impressed by San Francisco. They whooped Green Bay. They played Baltimore damn near to a draw all the way on the East Coast in a rainstorm. And then to beat New Orleans like this, to me, they did assert themselves, at least for the time being, at the top of the conference.
No, I was really impressed with what San Francisco was able to do. And, Coach, you mentioned it. You talked about that 49ers defensive line not having the kind of impact that we're used to seeing them in games. I think a lot of that can be attributed to Sean Payton's game plan going into this matchup. He wanted to get the ball out of Drew Brees' hands quickly, and you saw that in the times where you did have the deeper drops, they blocked it up and you had 2-man routes. So I think it was a situation where they were giving them the ultimate compliment by paying them that respect and trying to avoid those guys wrecking the game. But overall, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, what he was able to do, less than a minute to go on the clock, the fact that he was able to engineer that 7-play drive, 63 yards with the 39-yard completion to George Kittle on that 4th and 2, that was impressive. I mean, the fact that he had that kind of signature moment, I think that's what we've been waiting on all year, because the biggest reason why we haven't trusted the 49ers as contenders is because you don't know what to expect from your quarterback in the biggest situations when he's got somebody like Drew Brees on the other sideline.
Yeah, and with Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a make-something-happen quarterback. And what I mean by that is he's either going to make something happen for you or for the other team.
Somebody's band is going to play.
Somebody's band is going to play. And he's done a better job, I feel, of reeling that in. The 11 interceptions that he has on the season, that to me is still a concern. And you see it every game where he'll take some chances. He'll try to push the ball into some spots where you're thinking, you don't need to do this. You don't need to take this chance at this point. But for him to be able to duel with Drew Brees the way that he did in that environment with that type of noise, it is impressive, and it is another step in his growth.
And here's why the NFL is so great, because every single moment matters. And we talked about it a few weeks ago. I'm going to bring it up again today, and then I won't bring it up again for 3 more weeks until it's really going to matter. The Niners failing to get the tie against Seattle that they had in hand. The game's over. Seattle's got no timeouts left. If they want to take the tie, they can. Had they done that, they're the 1 seed right now, locked up. 2 clear of New Orleans, 2 clear of Green Bay, 2 clear of Seattle with 3 to play. It's over. They didn't. And now, as great as they've played the last few weeks, they will go to Seattle in Week 17, where if they lose that game, they will be the 5 seed. Like Seattle and San Francisco both will be huge favorites each of the next 2 weeks. It's going to be 13-2 against 12-3. And as good as bullish as I am on San Francisco right now, while they proved yesterday, Canty, they can go to New Orleans and win. You talk about it all the time. The path to the Super Bowl, if you're the 1 or the 2 with a bye versus the 5, where you have to play the extra round and every game's on the road, so much harder. And so Kyle Shanahan, if Mike Tomlin weren't running away from it, would get Coach of the Year votes. But that one decision could be the biggest decision individually any coach makes all season. We'll see if they're able to overcome it.
You love those decisions, those bullish decisions. That's what you love about John Harbaugh. You love any coach that's going to say, I don't need a tie.
No. I love coaches that understand time, score, situation, and the world in which they're in. And the world the Niners were in that game was they were playing a team they were 2 games clear of in the division, that a tie for them was as good as a win. And so I love coaches that understand that part, and Kyle Shanahan has proven that in his career. He does. That one, if they can't beat Seattle in Week 17, which is a hell of an ask, even for a great team, going to Seattle in Week 17, then they're going to be one of the most overqualified 5 seeds at 13-3 we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's hard, though, as a coach, and especially a younger head coach, to go ahead and take that tie, because